Welcome back everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Line TV, and today I'm bringing back another news daily video. Now in today's video I'll be speaking about GOLOVIN, OBLAK, Lewandowski, WILLIAN and Timo Werner. I'll talk about the news for the day and I'll give my thoughts and opinions at the end. So if you do like today's video, then remember to smash that like button, help me get over 1,500 likes, and on that point we get straight in with the first story for today, and that's in regards to Lewandowski. Now this isn't any transfer news. It's turned out that Lewandowski is going to miss the second leg game against us. He did pick up a knee injury in the game last night. He is going to be out for up to 4 weeks. So from a football point of view, it is disappointing because this season Lewandowski has been utterly sensational, scoring unbelievable goals at a ridiculously consistent rate. And of course, to miss out on a month of football at this point in the season is going to affect the amount of goals he scores at the end of the season. However, for us fans, this could be a tiny bit of a silver lining. Lewandowski was utterly ridiculous last night, scoring 1 goal and getting 2 assists. And as I said in the preview, if we don't stop him, he's going to absolutely destroy us, and that's exactly what he did in the end in yesterday's game. Does this mean that we're guaranteed to beat Bayern Munich? Well, of course not. They humbled us last night and they reminded us the amount of hard work that we still need to do to get to those levels. But, you know, I'd assume that maybe Müller is going to have to play up front over Lewandowski, and hopefully we have guys like Ruben, Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi available for that game, so who knows what's going to happen. As long as we get some goals, I'd be happy. Anyway, that now ends the first story. We move on to the second story for today, and that's in regards to the latest surrounding GOLOVIN from Monaco. Now, this report is coming out from Russia from a publication called SPURS, and in the article, they spoke about the futures of some very young and exciting Russian players, and of course, that naturally meant that GOLOVIN was going to get spoken about. Now, the article states that Roman Abramovich is still holding some hopes that one day GOLOVIN could represent the club. Of course, Roman's always wanted to sign a player from CSKA Moscow. Ideally, he'd love to have one top quality Russian player playing for the team, and that's the story from the article. Now, to give my thoughts and opinions, now that we have Mason Mount, now that we just signed Hakim Ziyech, do we really need to have GOLOVIN? I'm not too sure. With Ruben Loftus-Cheek being close to a return back to first team football on top of that, well, if GOLOVIN thought that back then when he was close to signing for us that he wasn't going to get any game time, I feel like it would be the same case and scenario if he was to sign for us in the summer. If you're asking me, I wouldn't be surprised if him and his agent were doing some meddling behind the scenes. Now, Monaco haven't had the best season. You know, it's the second consecutive season where Monaco have struggled in Ligue 1. I'm sure when GOLOVIN first signed, he had completely different thoughts and ideas for how his career was going to pan out for Monaco. Since he signed, he has been a decent player, but maybe, just maybe, him and his agent are thinking it's time to leave. Let's put our names out there. Let's see what interest we get back, and then in the summertime we can negotiate and see what happens. Now, rumours are suggesting that GOLOVIN could be available between 25 to 30 million pounds. However, there are still hopes that GOLOVIN can fulfill this potential at Monaco and become a 70 to 80 million rated player. It's not the first time that's happened. A lot of times with players like this playing for clubs like this, they need to be patient. A lot of times they need to wait for the club to sign better supporting casts to really help your football and improve the first team. Until that happens though, we have Mason Mount, Hakim Ziyech and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. For me, the GOLOVIN ship has long sailed. Now, on that point, we now move on to the third story for today, and that's in regards to WILLIAN and his contract situation. Now, the timing of this news was very surprising because it came in a press conference at the end of that 3-0 defeat last night. WILLIAN was interviewed by a Brazilian broadcaster, and in the interview he was very open and very honest. WILLIAN came out to state that he has asked for a 3-year deal. The club have refused to accept those demands, instead offering the player a 2-year deal. You know, WILLIAN was very clear and direct when he said that he sees himself staying in London. You know, he has a family, young kids, they're in school, he has his business adventures here as well. You know, his life is in London at this point in time. Of course, this is indirectly putting pressure towards the club to get any negotiations and deals sorted, and at the same time, it's also alerting other London clubs that he could be available if the right offer and deal is presented to the player. And for WILLIAN, who's going to be a free agent in the summer, if he decides not to sign for us, he could have a host of clubs after him And of course, he can most likely get the contract he wants, and most importantly, a big signing on fee because he's a free agent and he has no transfer fee on top of his name. Now, when you think of London clubs, maybe your West Hams, your Arsenals, maybe Tottenham. We do know that Mourinho and Willian have a very close relationship. I also mentioned to you guys in a previous video a long time ago, do not be surprised to see Tottenham showing interest to sign Willian. You know that Mourinho and Willian have an amazing friendship and a close relationship. He's the type of player that Mourinho loves to have. You know, he fights for the team, he works hard, he understands the tactical setup, and for a young Spurs team, that bit of experience in the final third could do them wonders. Would it be a massive loss if we let go of Willian? You know, a part of me would feel okay if he did stay because he is going to play an important part for the team and the squad. You know, he's a very popular player. The young players look up to him, so he does have his benefits and uses here. But at the same time, if he did decide to go, you know, he is going off the wage bill, and with the summer window being open, we could easily replace the player. With talks that we want to sign Jadon Sancho, well, it's looking like a front four for next season of Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Ziyech, and potentially Jadon Sancho. So if Willian's not part of that equation, it gets like that, it's life, and we move on. To be honest, if he signed for Spurs, personally, I wouldn't hold too much grudges against him. You know, sometimes it's purely business, and for a player that's played for us for such a long time, I think at this point in time he can do what he wants. When you're an older player, when your career is about to end, when you have family and kids, you know, your life is completely different. How you view the game becomes completely different as well. You realize that there are more important things out there, like how your career is going to be once you finish football. We now move on to the fourth story, and this report is in regards to Jan Oblak from Atletico Madrid. Now, this story has been reported by outlets from Spain, and it's suggesting that we're looking to offer KEPA plus £30 million to sign Jan Oblak. Now, Oblak does have a €120 million release clause, so if we just paid that money, we'd be able to sign the player. However, when you sign KEPA for so much money, you've given him a ridiculously long and expensive contract. Well, it makes things very difficult. And in today's age where financial fair play needs to be taken with utmost care and scrutiny, we've seen what's happened with Man City. You know, we can't take financial fair play for granted anymore. It's serious business. If we were to sign Jan Oblak, we'd have to get rid of KEPA. Now with that, let's see, they have a habit of signing some of our players. You know, Morata is having a decent season for Atletico Madrid, and since he signed for them, he has been an okay player. Now, Atleti obviously wouldn't want to sell Oblak, but if you are Oblak, you're looking at Atletico's situation. They're 4th or 5th in the table. It looks like they're nowhere near closer to competing and winning La Liga. Do you think maybe that it's time to leave and time to look abroad? You know realistically that you're not going to sign for Barcelona or for Real Madrid because they have Ter Stegen and Courtois. So if you were to leave Atletico Madrid, you'd have to go abroad with Premier League money, with London, with wages, with a first team guarantee spot ready for him. Oblak could be an unbelievable signing for us. And if we look to the example that Liverpool set, they spent big money to sign Alisson, and it was worth every single penny. When you have consistent world-class ability like that, honestly, you can't really put a value on that type of ability. Oblak coming in would exponentially improve everything. I'm sure it would even improve the defense because he'd be telling people where to go and what to do. Oblak really is a fantasy signing. And if you guys want to hear more thoughts and opinions on 7 goalkeepers that I think could replace KEPA, then in the cards above, make sure you look at my previous video. I go into a lot of detail, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to like my suggestions when it comes to replacing KEPA. Now, on this point, we do end things with the final story for today. This is in regards to Timo Werner, and this report has been released exclusively by Bleacher Report. Now, the article mainly just talks about Liverpool throughout, and Liverpool are currently the favourites to sign Timo Werner. It seems like Timo Werner wants to join Liverpool, however there are a few reservations, and I thought the article was very detailed, very good, and it really provided a lot of insight into the deal and things happening behind the scenes. Now, with Timo Werner's manager, Nagelsmann, he's been speaking to the player, and he's been telling him to really make sure that he takes his time to make the right decision. If he leaves RB Leipzig and if he was to sign for a Liverpool or sign for us, is he guaranteed first team football week in week out? Timo Werner is 23 years old, he's having his best personal season, and Nagelsmann has told the player, do not ruin your momentum. You're heading for a high trajectory, do not stop that path by getting less game time. And realistically, Nagelsmann does have a point. If he was to sign for Liverpool, they have Mane, Firmino and Salah, the best front three probably in the world at this point in time. You can't expect Werner to play over any one of those players. Maybe Klopp might change the system to become a 4-2-3-1, however, that's going to fundamentally change how they use their midfields. And I'm sure that Werner will get consistent game time playing for Liverpool, but is it going to be enough to fully satisfy the player? Now here's where we come into play, and as the article does state, Werner hasn't completely ruled out signing for us. If we came in with the right offer, if we came in with the right charm offensive, anything could happen, and you never know, we could just sign the player. Because Werner becomes even more interesting this summer, a report came out yesterday confirming a long-standing rumour that Timo Werner's release clause is set at 30 million euros. Now, it was fluctuating constantly. At the time, we all believed that his release clause was around 51 million euros. But then once that wasn't confirmed straight away, because if he had that release clause, then it's not really info worth keeping to yourself, well, it started to confirm some suspicions. Maybe Leipzig were hiding the true nature of Werner and his release clause, and if the player really is available for such low money, then he becomes a priority signing. Reports that Lyon won 83 million from Moussa Dembele after he's continued his very impressive goal scoring season. Could Werner be the best option at this point in time and in the market to sign for us and to compete for a first team spot? Personally, I think this could be the case. Werner is very fluid, he can play in so many different formations and in different roles. At Leipzig right now, he's kind of playing at the Ronaldo free roll down the left hand side, where he has a license to attack the spaces when and where he wants. And you can imagine him combining alongside a Tammy Abraham in that sense. And with how Lampard likes to have tactical fluidity and formation fluidity, Werner really could have a lot more game time than he expects if he was to sign for us. So in the comment section below, you guys give me your thoughts and opinions. Would you like to see Timo Werner signing for us to compete alongside Tammy Abraham? Make sure in the comment section you let me know below. And on that point, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm in the FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.